Hey there, I want to talk about deployment strategy for Warhammer Fantasy, for what it's worth for me to say anything. So, check this out. I'm playing against Warriors of Chaos, and what he's done is he's taken 30-point units of Warhounds, and he's deployed, and a unit of Marauders, which is about 120 points. So he has about 200 points of units on the board, but he's had me deploy well over half my army. So now he gets to place his beefy stuff after seeing where more or less my stuff is going to be. And so throwaway units, that's something you want to look for in an army list, is a unit that costs like 30, 40, 50 points. Now for some armies like Dark Elves, their throwaway unit is still 70 points. But they can't have harpies. So that's a unit you can use to just kind of tease out your opponent's deployment and see where he's going to put his stuff. The other thing is that these Marauders are out of the way of his faster units, because in the new Warriors of Chaos book, they have all this great cavalry, and the cavalry army is really what you're seeing more and more of. But the problem is you have these great slower units. So the trick is to have them not get in the way. So this is a really good place for the Marauders because they can move up, not be flanked. They have kind of the protection of this piece of terrain here. And yet still on subsequent turns, as things are coming to a head here in the middle, probably in this area right here, they can move up and make themselves useful. And they can also provide the other role that they're supposed to do, which is keep things off of the flank of the Chaos Knights. Meaning, okay, you can charge my Chaos Knights, or, okay, so my Chaos Knights are all tied up here in the middle, but now the Chaos Marauders are going to punish you with a flank or rear charge. And that is why Warhammer Fantasy is like chess, because you have to develop your pieces so that they each support each other, and you have to think several moves ahead. Okay, so I'm trying to, as much as my limited intelligence will allow, explain how to develop the units of a Chaos Mortals army. Now, if you choose Chaos Knights, the way to win with that army is you got to punch through. And the problem is the Knights, if they're going against a ranked unit, have to go above a 5, plus whatever casualties they receive in return, which is probably not going to be many. So you have to focus your points and your killie power into, that's a real word, into your units, and not have too many. 2 units of Chaos Knights should be plenty of a spearhead. Now what we've done here is we've added a few studio figures just to bulk out these units. That's why those guys look a little different. But you have 6 Chaos Knights, each with a hero in it. One of these has the Battle Standard Bearer, a War Banner, so that puts this unit up by 3 just sitting there. Now, the Marauders Horseman, they're deployed this way just to kind of save space in the deployment area, and that's a dirty little trick. Now, what he's done, and rightfully so, is he moved a Shaggoth out to the flank here, and he's looking at the Shaggoth's line of sight here. You just measure straight through from one corner to another. And he has to say, do I think the enemy's going to be on that side of that line for me to charge into the flank? And the answer is, yeah, that's about where he wants to be. And he did the same thing with this other Shaggoth here. Again, this is a studio model standing in. And so this threatens, like this little maneuver, completely changes how I have to figure this out. It puts me on the defensive, basically. Now, let's take a look at the Chaos Knights movement. Go ahead and move them forward. They're 14 inches. Now, assuming he's deployed 12 inches out, and I've deployed 12 inches out, that's 24 inches between the two armies. So by moving out 14 precisely, he has left 10 inches, which means I can't charge. And but the other thing you got to watch out for is I could also back up 2 inches. But by backing up 2 inches, I'm still in his 14-inch reach. In fact, I'll only be 12 inches away. So that is really tough, because if I move up here, how can I prevent being flanked by the Shaggoth? And so he's going to have to move his support units up to basically harry this guy, make sure that I can't get the Stegodon into punishment range, because that's what I'll do, is I'll move this unit up. I'll say, well, go ahead and charge me, but the Stegodon is going to hit you next turn. He's already answered that by saying, yeah, but I'm going to hit you with the Shaggoth first. So now I can wait. I could move up, let the Shaggoth hit me in the flank, Chaos Knights in the front, hope I stand, and then come in with the Stegodon for a flank myself. But boy, that's really not such a hot situation. What I'll probably do is probably try and keep these Chaos Knights. Go ahead and move those forward if you want. I'll probably try and keep both the Chaos Knights and the Shaggoths in the front of these units. And he's picked his targets. He's already decided which of the biggest, beefiest units he's going to kill. It's not this, because they're stubborn, which means even if he kills 5 or 10 or however many guys, he's not going to be able to break that unit, and then next turn, bam, bam, lots of bad things can happen. So let's kind of see how that goes. Okay, so this is Chaos turn 2, and what happened is he moved his knights up. I decided I was just going to get right in his face. I was like 3 inches away here. And basically, it's going according to plan so far, so good. You have the knights against this unit. Now the problem is, if the Saurus break, these guys are going to run into the Stegodon. And I did that on purpose. But this is a great maneuver here, because these guys are kind of blocked in. Like, even if I charge here, see, they're not in contact. I can only get one guy into contact. So, but they're also stubborn on cold-blooded 9. So that's a toughie. And the Marauders went into the flank here. Now this is where it's interesting to have the Shaggoths on the edge, because we're going to end up with Shaggoth moving 14. Let's just lay that down. So the Shaggoth can get way back here. And just roughly, it's probably going to end up 9 to 6 here, or 6 to 3. So that means that it's unlikely that the Saurus are going to be way over there. But if the Saurus pursue, now the Shaggoth is in the rear arc. Do you see how that works? And so that creates a problem for them, because he is a rank breaker, and that's critical. And so he's going to move his Marauders, which are march blocked by less than 8 inches here, but he's going to move his Marauders up into the flank here. This also has the beneficial effect of causing terror. And that's why I think the Shaggoths, the pair of Shaggoths, are so great in the flank, is because they can also, sometimes they can just scare away the smaller units. Recommendation, don't move up that close. Don't move within 6 inches, because then I can just not move and hit you with the blowpipes and not have that penalty. So you want to move enough so I can't run away, but also that you're outside of the range of the close range of the blowpipes. So these Marauders here, remember, this unit's only about 120 points. So they're still good just to take a table quarter, but in a protracted combat, they can still help out over here. So there you go.